Welcome down to episode 7, and as we've just been discussing in Welsh, Scythe. If you're Welsh, Good afternoon, Ellen.
Good afternoon, Prynhawn da.
I
don't know why we're going all Welsh.
Get on the Welsh vibe. How are you? You okay?
I'm good, yeah. I'm not too bad. Not too bad. How's things with you?
Yeah, I've had better weeks.
Yeah.
But I don't want to go into that.
Would Debbie down a day today?
Yeah, but how's things? Things are sent to try us, and
Yeah.
that's how things are in work at times. Nothing bad. It's just when spreadsheets don't work, it really upsets me.
Yeah, I don't like spreadsheets anyway. But when you have a bad day, it really makes you appreciate the good days.
Yeah, it does.
So
yeah,
tomorrow will be a good day.
It will be.
Be better than today.
Definitely be a good day tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll have something nice for lunch to treat myself.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
What are you gonna get?
Don't want to go to the cafe.
Oh, cafe up the road.
Yeah, the one we've already given a shout out to. It's not getting him too much kudos on the podcast.
No, they do nice food though. Yeah. Speaking of, when we spoke about them last time, I normally get that coronation chicken on a jacket potato.
Okay.
Well, on the weekend, I went to the farm shop in Buckley. They've got a garden centre cafe. I think it's called Susan's Cafe or something. And I had a coronation chicken sandwich, and it was so good. It was proper nice chicken.
I think we should set up a side podcast
For food.
just talking about food.
Yeah.
It's becoming quite a most talked about topic.
Yeah, but everyone can relate to food though.
Yeah, that's true.
Everyone, loves food.
Everyone loves food.
But
But it was good.
It was
Well,
good.
I'll have to try that place out. I'll send me the directions because that's just down the road from my house.
Yeah, I will. We had that, and then we got some pancakes as well.
From the same place?
Yeah. We went there to try and get breakfast, a all-day breakfast. It was 12:30, and I said, should we just go out for some breakfast?
At 12:30.
At 12:30.
Like
and I
it.
was like, oh, it's 12:30.
You can tell you haven't got kids.
Dinner. So, yeah, we were trying to look around to see, who's doing an all-day breakfast, and then found out that I'm pretty sure it is Susan's.
Susan's Cafe. I'll have to have a look for that.
I'll find it anyway. And yeah, they did all-day breakfasts, but they had all different other things like sandwiches, paninis, soup, that sort of thing. And then neither of us got an all-day breakfast. I got a sandwich.
All right, so you went out for all day breakfast and didn't end up with all day breakfast.
No.
Love it.
Yeah, I came away laughing actually.
So what else did you get? Was there anything else on the weekend, or was it just
on the
foodie weekend?
It was my brother's engagement party.
Nice.
So went to Warrington.
And he had a very posh engagement.
It was so fancy.
Yeah.
It was really nice. They did their own balloon arches.
Right.
So we work with Balloon Market TV,
Yeah.
Signature Balloons. They sell all the balloons and create loads of different balloon arches for parties and events. So they did their own balloon arch, all different nice pastel colours.
Did they get it from those guys?
I'm not sure where they got it from those guys, but the inspiration was from them.
Okay.
And then they had their own wall background with flowers. Oh, it was lovely.
Where was that?
They hired out a venue in Warrington. I don't know what it was called. I got lost trying to find it. Every time I go to Warrington, though, I get a fine.
There's loads of speed cameras in Warrington.
It wasn't even a speed camera. It was parking.
Oh.
So there's a car park, and I parked there, and I bought myself a ticket. I think it was 2 hours. Anyway, it's a little bit longer than 2 hours. This was a couple months ago. I was a bit longer than 2 hours, and then the ticket man came and put a ticket on my car because I was 5 minutes over my allocated time.
He was keen.
Oh, yeah. He must have saw me come in.
Every time I ever go to Warrington is if I go to IKEA. And then I always end up taking the wrong turn in out of IKEA, and then you go on the sat nav, and it takes me back through the middle of Warrington rather than around the outskirts and get onto the M6. Always, and then you're watching every single turn because there's a speed camera everywhere in Warrington. I hate it.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
Yeah, really careful. But so you had a weekend of food and partying.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't drinking at all. It was just more food.
You didn't drink it.
No, I was driver.
Designated drive.
Yeah, I was driver.
Short straw.
Yeah. But seeing everyone get absolutely wasted and they all had a hangover the next day, I was the bright one there.
You felt great on Sunday.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Good. It was
Cracker
good.
sparrows. Everyone's there looking like they've got a bucket on their head.
Yeah, exactly. What was your weekend like? What did you do?
What day in the weekend?
It feels like so long ago, doesn't it?
Yeah, because we're not a normal podcast day, but what did I do on the weekend?
Tuesday again, guys.
What did I do? I went shopping on Saturday afternoon, which is pretty mundane, and then Sunday went to a first birthday party.
Ooh, one of Elsie's friends.
Our next door neighbour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Is this the next door neighbour who's got the same name as you?
Doesn't have the same name as me.
Oh.
His
thought you
wife has
did.
the same. His wife has the same name as my wife.
Oh yeah, that's the confusion. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a very similar name to me, but it's not the same. But yeah,
Yeah.
so we went to that on Sunday afternoon. But that was it. Pretty chilled weekend, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, did some bits around the house. That's about it.
Yeah. Proper adult then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
boring. Like parenting weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. So where were you last week? Were you in the office a bit and you were out a bit?
Let me think about last week. What was I doing? I think I was in the office. I don't even know what I did last week.
It's like the weeks and days just merge into one in
Mhm.
this place, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
absolutely bizarre. I've never known anything like it. I've never known the weeks to go so quickly in anywhere where I've ever worked before in this place. One,
No.
you come in, it's Monday morning, and all of a sudden it's Thursday afternoon. And you're like, where's the week gone?
Yeah, it's true what they say as you get older, time goes quicker.
It does.
I never believed it when I was in school and it was half term.
Oh, no, week used to like last about,
Yeah.
about like 6.
Yeah.
Summer holidays seem to last forever.
Yeah.
And now, like, my wife's a teacher, so she goes on holiday at the end of July, and then all of a sudden I think, oh, it's last week of August, I haven't taken any time off yet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it does absolutely motor. But you had a couple of dems and things.
I
last week,
did.
didn't you?
I just remembered I had a new gentleman that started in Master Systems. He came in for the day, so we ran through all the different products that we've got here.
Yes.
Just a little taster of what we do, because I believe he's going to be on the sales team. So
Running through the C7000, weren't you?
yeah, C7000 and the laminator as well, the Weird Interventions laminator.
Nice.
So that was a nice day, catching up with him properly. I spoke to him a few times over email, but it's nice to see them in the flesh.
Yeah.
And yeah, a few meetings online. Still doing them online meetings. People are still keen to do them. And I think, yeah, the week just kind of went.
And then Friday, we said goodbye to Linda.
Yeah, I saw that post that you put up as well yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I meant to do it on Friday, and just one thing led to another, and I didn't get a chance to do it. So yeah, took a nice picture of Linda on her last day, and then put the post on LinkedIn last night.
Have you sent it to her?
I did. I took a screenshot. And
Yeah.
I sent it to her. She wasn't very enamoured about wanting to have a picture done, but I was like, "Come on, it's your last day. You're retiring. It's not just like your last day here, but you're retiring."
Yeah.
So yeah, she posed for a nice picture,
Oh, bless her.
and a bit of a strange vibe on Friday. Not just Linda's last day, but obviously the sad news about the Queen and that. It was
Yeah.
a very strange day. Like you have the radio on in the background, everything dead somber. It
Yeah.
was just a bit of a
sad
strange day
one.
on Friday. But no, it was I think we gave Linda quite a nice send off. So if you don't know who Linda is, Linda worked in our accounts kind of sales administration team. She worked for us for 13 years, like full on. She was absolutely lovely, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And she retired. Gonna have a nice, happy retirement, long and prosperous retirement. So
Yeah.
we wanted to wish Linda. I send Linda off on Friday with all our best wishes. So we had a little bit of food and things for her. Had a nice little party, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Yeah. Good week
Jealous
last
of her.
week. Just a bit sad seeing Linda go.
Yeah. It was really busy. I'm thinking back at what I did last week now. It's just going all in my head. Planning for the show this week and next week, that's kind of been the
Taking
main
up-
focus, really.
Yeah, loads of shows. We obviously last week's podcast was about the shows we got coming up. So quickly to overview, where this week is the
Trade X 22, so it's the
Memorials.
memorial show.
Yeah, and then leading on to print show in Birmingham next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's also a craft show as well, which one of our craft resellers, Green Stick Materials, they've got a craft show with the Brother and the Silhouette machines next week as well. So yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week is just, we've got
Chocker.
about 3 or 4 shows going on.
Yeah,
It's-
I think
yeah.
we're all out and about at some point next week trying to get in the shows and help our resellers out, aren't we? Yeah. Manning these things. Right, this week's focus section, we're going to talk a little bit about.
Print and cut.
You love print and cut, don't you?
I do like print and cut. I never used to like print and cut because I didn't quite understand how it works. And a lot of customers tend to get quite frustrated with it. But when you know how to do it, especially like with the Silhouette machines, even the Graphtec really is dead simple to do.
Yeah, so print and cut's like a function that you can do on both craft machines
Mm-hmm.
and the commercial machines, isn't it?
Yeah. So print and cut is when you're wanting to print full colour designs and they're to run through a cutting machine then. So with standard vinyls, it's just one blocked colour.
Yeah.
But print and cut, you can get quite creative with colours in there and still be able to cut it out on a Graphtec or a Silhouette machine as well, or even a Brother machine.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to do likes of labels, stickers, big panel jobs with these registration marks. So yeah, it just gives something extra to do.
Yeah, I get, if you're listening to these podcasts, watching these podcasts, and you're just dipping your toe into kind of like the cutting world, print and cut, the difference is you can create signs and things like that by buying block color vinyl. So vinyl that is one color all the way through. So full color, full roll of red, full roll of black, blue, and you can cut lettering out of those rolls of vinyl and then adhere it to a sign. Then you've got the word hello in blue just on a white sign, haven't you? But if you wanted to create something, you wanted to print a picture and then cut around it, that's what print and cut is. But in order to do that, there's a full process, isn't there?
Yeah.
Whereas like with reg marks and everything. So how does that process, obviously from you working either from Illustrator or Graphtec Pro Studio, how does that process work?
So what you do is you need a specific software. So whether that's Silhouette Studios for your Silhouette machine, you got the Brother machine as well. What's the software for? Is it Canva Works? But the Brother machine's got registration marks on the cut mat, haven't
Yeah,
they?
it's Canvas Workspace for Brother,
Mm-hmm.
Silhouette Studio for the Silhouette machines, and on Graphtec Pro Studio for the Graphtec machines, but you can use other external softwares as well with them.
You can. So yeah, Adobe Illustrator is quite popular with Graphtec, and also Graphtec have got their own Graphtec Pro Studios, and the laser machines, they do it from the RD Works software as well.
Yeah.
So it's the same sort of concept. So you'd create your design in the software, whether it be, you know, your full color designs, and then you'd add your registration marks on after you've completed the design.
Yeah.
So in the Silhouette, in the Graphtec software, there would be around the edges of the material, and it's the same if you're working in Adobe Illustrator or if you're working in Graphtec Studios. You can add as many registration marks as you need around that design.
Yeah.
So if you were doing a job and it was 10 meters long, you'd add more registration marks for it to be more accurate, as it's, you know, reading them registration marks down the line of the material.
Yeah, rather than just one at the top of the 10 meter and one at the bottom left of the 10 meter.
Yeah.
Because it would run, if that was the case, then it would run the full job all the way through the machine before it could find the other reg mark, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so there's always that risk where it wouldn't be an accurate cut then.
Yeah.
So that's what these registration marks are for. It will pick up the registration marks when you put it into the machine, and it will know where it needs to cut. So it just keeps it in line. So then once you've got your registration marks around your design, you then print that out, whether it be on your desktop printer, whether it be, you know, a HP printer, you know, one of the solvent printers.
You know, on a big wide format jobbies.
Yeah, or whether it's going through a UV printer for, you know, printing onto acrylic, or even embroidery as well, you know, embroidering your registration marks for cutting out on the laser machine.
Yeah.
Then you would then put that material into your machine and then position where that cut is going to be on top of the registration mark.
Yeah.
Then it will then pick up where the first registration mark is, and then it'll go and read the other registration marks around it.
So the important thing about the reg marks are that all the reg marks for all the machines are slightly different, and you need to add the correct registration mark onto your print before you print it, so your plotter will find it. So a Graphtec registration mark is slightly different to a Silhouette one. A Brother registration mark is slightly different to a Silhouette one. And the registration marks that are used on the lasers are different again. So you need to make sure you've printed the right reg mark on your media for the optical eye on your machine to pick it up, isn't it?
Yeah, they're very unique to each machine, each software. And then once it's picked up the registration marks, it'll then cut out the material.
Yeah.
And then there's your cut job done.
Yeah.
It's easy.
We were talking a little bit last week about buying a print cuts machine or having a separate printer and a separate cutter. So this is where print and cut really comes into its own, because you can utilize your wide format printer to just keep printing out your jobs whilst your cutter is quickly blasting through. A standalone cutter is a lot quicker at cutting the job than a printer with a cut head on it. So you can keep printing whilst you're quickly running off your cut jobs through your plotter to keep that turnover going. If you've got to stop your printer to use the cut version, you're literally halving your workflow, aren't you?
Yeah, you are. If you've got a print and cut machine, you're tying in your time into one machine, so you can't be proactive in, you know, utilizing your time with yeah, you've got your basically, if you've printed out your material in your printer, then you need to wait for that to be cut. But if you've got another job, then you can't do anything with it because you've already got media in your machine.
Yeah.
But if you've got another machine, then you can put that material that's already been printed into your cutter while you print another one. So yeah.
What would you say our most popular machine is for printing cut at the moment?
Print and cut, I would say the FC range.
Because of the tracking.
The tracking on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because we find a lot of people that with the printing cut, what Graphtec have done in their recent model, which is the FC9000, is they've got their own barcode emulation. So in there, it's like a unique barcode, and you can add that onto your design and then print it out. And then what happens then is when you send the job, it'll hold it in the management of the software.
Yeah.
So then once you're ready to send the job through, it will read the barcode regardless of how many jobs, different types of files are in that on the artwork. It will go and cut them all out and it'll just be like a continuous cut.
Yeah.
So that again is one of the reasons why people are going for the FC machine for the printing cut. And also a lot of the wide format printers, they're used for this type of application.
Yeah. And we have talked about it before, but obviously the middle step in between this is having, depending on what you're doing with the job and what the print is going for, obviously you can use the laminator as well to protect your print. So there's the 3 steps really: print, laminate, cut.
Yeah.
But all of those different jobs we can, well, so say all the jobs, we don't provide the printers, but like the print finishing side of it, we provide the solutions in terms of the machinery we offer to do those jobs, don't we?
Yeah, we do. And it's a good thing that you just mentioned then about the laminating, because sometimes when you've got printed material and you put it in the cutter, because of the shine on the media, it can be quite difficult for the machine to actually read the registration marks. So there's different features in the actual machine that you can change for it to read the registration marks nicely.
Okay.
But yeah, we can go into that on another.
Well, what's the most common problem if you're doing a dem for somebody who's coming in for print? What's the most common problem why would they be looking to change to something like a Graphtec machine? What's the most common problem that they're having to warrant them changing?
Probably would be picking up the registration marks. We find a lot of customers are using like reflective film, and in some other cutters, because it's reflective, it doesn't feed through the material, doesn't feed through the machine and read them registration marks as accurate. Okay. Or it'll pick up 2 or 3, but because it's on a long job, it won't be able to read the remaining on the end of the jobs.
Okay.
So that's kind of one of the questions that we have.
Yeah. So, but pretty much, well, all of our Graphtec plotters for the commercial side, even the craft, they all can do print and cut now. There isn't a machine that isn't capable of doing print and cut, is it? They're all capable. They've all got an optical eye on them.
Yeah.
But I'd say the 2 most popular machines commercially is either the CE7000 or the FC9000, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the trade-off is guaranteed repeatability and accuracy, isn't it? Obviously, C7000 is great for very small runs, but for the longer wide format stuff, that's when, like we've said in the past, that you would move to an FC9000. But even if you've got kind of cardboard sheets and thicker sheets, you can do it on the flatbeds, can't you?
Yeah, the flatbeds also have that. Is it called an arms sensor?
The arms, yeah.
Isn't it?
I can't remember.
I was trying to think what it's called. Yeah, optical.
But it's an optical eye in the head, which picks up the reg marks.
Yeah, so yeah, all the Graphtec machines have that, which is another product which we've not really touched on yet at all in a podcast, is the F mark.
Yeah.
So for the small desktop kind of work, so you're looking at your A3 size sheets for stickers especially, the F mark is perfect for that print and cut. So it reads the registration marks perfectly, and it's got that automatic feeder onto the front of the machine, and it's a CE7000, but it has an automatic arms that lifts up the material and feeds into the machine, performs the cut with the registration marks, and then it drops it into the catch tray.
Yeah.
So it's a great system for
always
doing
an eye catcher that when we take it to shows. People are they always not even really looking at the stand, and then all of a sudden they'll just see this machine operating itself, feeding your pre-printed sheets in, cutting it, drop it out the back, and then feeding the next one in ready to go. So with the F mark, you can load up, I think it's up to 200
sheets.
that are already pre-printed. But it's not like you load it up once and you leave it go. As soon as you've cut 50 sheets, you can just top it up, and until you've finished your job, it will just keep picking up and cutting as long as it's the same job, until the feed tray is completely empty. So it's great for people who are doing a lot of labels or small bespoke runs of business cards. But this type of time of year as well, because it can cut the card and things, if you've got the print and cut set up properly on it, you can also use it to mass produce like mini gift boxes and stuff, can't you, on the run up to Christmas?
Yeah, we've got the F mark is going to be at the print show next week.
Yeah.
And that's going to be bundled up with the Yoki printer. So printing the card with the Yoki printer and then feeding it through the F mark. One customer that we had, they were part of a garden centre and they were using our machines to cut out the little tags, things to put on the plants.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good little project.
Were they cutting like a plastic then, or was it?
It was quite. Yeah, it wasn't
plastic?
a normal type of material.
No.
Yeah.
Because it is like I can't remember, it's almost like a PVC, like a very thin PVC sheet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It can save you loads of time if you've got loads of like pre-printed small sheets. Well, up to SRA3, isn't it? The normal F mark.
Yeah.
Do we know anything about the wider version of the F mark? Is that something that's coming into production? Because obviously we had the original F mark series. We had the F mark Plus, which you could crease with as well.
Yeah.
The F mark 2 is only available at the moment in the smaller cut-in option with the C7040. But I haven't heard anything on the grapevine about the wider version.
I think it is coming into stock, but I don't know when.
I haven't been told when.
No.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, we've got the F mark. It's a 40 wide and there's also a 60 wide.
Yeah.
With the 60 wide, you can add a creasing tool onto it, but you can't purchase that separately. It is unique to that machine.
Yeah.
So that's great for your cut and creasing cardstock. That's one of the uses of it.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll find out a little bit more information about that soon. So
we'll do our research and come back next week with it.
Yeah. Right. Ask Ellen.
Mm-hmm.
This week we've got, I'm looking to upgrade my Silhouette Cameo to a Graphtec. Can I convert my Silhouette files to files that I can use on my Graphtec machine?
That's good. We do find a lot of customers have bought a Silhouette machine and they're looking to upgrade to a Graphtec machine, because we find a lot of customers, they tend to, it's a hobby to begin with. They spoke to like their friends and their friends are doing it as a business on the side, and then it gets to a level then and they're like, oh, I need to actually upgrade. It needs to be more faster. It needs to be more accurate.
Got too much work on
hardware.
Like Cameo's kind of capable of doing.
Yeah. But there are two separate softwares. So Silhouette Studios for the Silhouette machine, and you've got Graphtec, or you can use Adobe Illustrator for your Graphtec machine. There is a plugin for Adobe Illustrator, which you can convert the files over from Silhouette to Graphtec Adobe Illustrator. But you can convert certain files. Off the top of my head, I don't know which ones.
Right, so I think, you've got, if you set up from the start on Illustrator, from your Silhouette, then you'd have to buy the Silhouette Connect plugin.
Yeah.
So you can drive your Silhouette Cameo, Silhouette Portrait, whatever, straight out of it.
Yeah, I think it's called Connect 4.
Yeah. So you've got, if you're already set up from Illustrator from the start, then there's nothing you need to do to convert your files because everything's an Illustrator file.
Yeah.
But if you're Silhouette, then the process would be you would need to upgrade your software to
the business edition.
Yeah. And then
you can save it as a certain type of file.
You save as SVG. Sorry, just smacked this again. I keep doing this in the podcast, punching my microphone. Was it save as SVG out of Business Edition, download it as an SVG, and then import into Graphtec Pro Studio.
So it is possible to do.
Yeah. And do you use SVGs when what you're doing when you're creating files?
I tend to make my own.
Yeah.
Quite creative like that.
So do you ever create as SVG?
I've not got the Business Edition. I used to on my old computer, but since I've got a new laptop, I've not got the new Business Edition. I just use the basic.
Do you use Silhouette Studio much, other than when you're doing demos with Cameos, or just use Illustrator?
Illustrator.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know I appreciate not everyone has Adobe Illustrator because
Yeah.
it is, you know, a pricey bit of software.
Yeah.
But I used to use Silhouette when I first new to using the product. But yeah, I've converted over.
Yeah, once you get used to using the design software, I suppose, and you're
Yeah.
looking for extra bits, then that Illustrator will give you. But as a kind of beginner, in inverted commas, I probably, if you're a full on beginner of design again, it's just I wouldn't push people towards Illustrator.
No,
It's-
not for a new start for someone. No, I mean Adobe Illustrator is great because it like merges different machines together. So that's why I use it, because it works well with the laser machine, it works well with the Cameo and also the Graphtec machine. But if you're starting out, going to Adobe Illustrator can be quite daunting because there's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Whereas Silhouette Studios, it's nice, clean, user friendly, like simple to like know where things are. So stick to a simplistic software.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with Illustrator without much help. So if
Yeah.
you know what you're doing, it's dead intuitive. But if you don't know what you're doing, it's just rabbit in the headlights, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Silhouette Studio is really easy to look at, really intuitive to use, really just nice on the screen. So it's
Yeah.
a good, like almost like training software as well, isn't it?
There's lots of tutorials as well, and you can actually get access to the tutorials in the help tab in the actual software.
Yeah.
So that will take you to another website and it will break down. So if you're struggling with print and cut, for instance, adding registration marks onto the graphic, it will show you how to do that. If you're struggling with cutting out certain materials, again, it will guide you. It's a nice little step-by-step.
Yeah, and we've just launched a 10-step video series on YouTube as well for Silhouette Studio that Hayley did for us.
Nice.
So literally everything you need to know for the basics of getting into Silhouette Studio. It's probably there's over an hour's worth of content that we've done, because I think some of the videos are up to 15 minutes. So yeah, there's 10 specific videos on our YouTube channel. So Graphtec GB on YouTube, and then there's a playlist for Craft Store Direct.
Are they available to watch now?
Yep, they're all online.
Do you have to pay for them or?
Nope, all free because it's YouTube.
That's good.
Yeah, can't say that you might not get an ad chucked in at some point. Not from us, from YouTube.
You have a
but
break thing, can't you?
you can have a break and get a brew.
Get a coffee, get
Yeah.
tea, biscuit.
But we've got our own, and there'll be more to come. So we started those out with Silhouette, but we'll be looking to do some more with the brother machines, and then potentially we want to do more content with the commercial side of things. So watch this space. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Cutting Matters podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, then feel free to drop us a comment and leave us a like. If you haven't already, then please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification when doing so you get notified every time we upload more content. If you're listening on podcast providers, be that Spotify or Apple Podcasts, we'd really appreciate it if you could leave us a rating. But for now, thanks for joining us on the Cutting Matters podcast, and we'll see you again soon.